Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and wrap a pack. Okay, so I'm going to start with paper. These are paper wraps that you can find over in the cabinet. And again, you want to make sure that you use something of appropriate size. So if I had, say, a sterile gown I was going to wrap, this is way too small for that. Okay, it's a little bit on the big side for maybe some of the items that I have here, but these are just the items that I kind of picked. When we wrap, the first thing that you want to do is lay the wrap, whether it's cloth or paper, in front of you in a diamond shape. Okay, so that's really kind of step one. In this case, because I'm wrapping an instrument, I'm wrapping this mosquito, and it has ratchets, I need to put something in the middle so that those ratchets don't close during the wrapping process. I'm going to lay the instrument in the center of my wrap. Now again, it's in diamond shape in front of me, right? So I'm going to lay it in the center, and I need to bring that instrument just a little bit below center. So I don't leave it in the center of the wrap, just a little bit below. Okay? And then I'm going to always start with the flap closest to me, and I'm going to bring it up to the edge of my instrument so it's really kind of nice and tight. And then I'm going to fold it back. And sometimes this is as far as I have to go, but see how I have extra laying here? So I'm going to have to do a couple more wraps until it's in there nice and neat. And now the ring handles of this instrument are here. So you see how I'm saying you want to do it kind of nice and tight. All right, so always start with the flap closest to you, bring it up, and fan fold it back. You have to have at least one fan fold, multiple are okay. So next, it doesn't matter if I do right or left side, but I'm going to take either the right or left side, and I'm going to fold that straight up. Now, if you don't see how this is nice and straight right up, this is like wrapping Christmas presents or folding laundry. So if you enjoy doing those things, you enjoy wrapping instruments. If you don't, you hate this. Because what has a tendency to happen is students will bring these over like this, and it'll fold out a little bit like this. See how it's kind of going in an outward fashion? And then you get a lot of extra at the end. So if you start getting a lot of extra flappies around your instrument, this is probably what happened. It came at an angle. So you need to bring this straight over, and if you have it straight up, you won't have that issue. Every fold needs to have a fan fold, like I said, at least one. In this particular case, this time I only need one. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. So I'm going to bring it over. My instrument ends right here. Make sure that's straight up. In this case, because I have paper, I can make a crease. Makes it a little easier. And a fan fold back. Now this fan fold's sticking out, and I want it to be nice and neat, so I'm going to give it an extra little fold. Okay? And then lastly, I'm going to take this and wrap it around my instrument, but it's easier if I roll it up. It's the same premise. So now typically if those were out, like I just said, this is where you'll have all that extra. But see how everything's staying in a nice straight line? Again, kind of like wrapping Christmas presents. And straight up. So I have my first wrap done. Yep, looks like a little envelope. Nice little neat little package. Okay, but I'm not done. Everything has to be double wrapped, I said. So I'm going to take a second paper wrap. And again, you can choose wraps of different size. If I had two wraps that were different sizes, the larger one needs to go on the outside because now this is bigger than what I started with, right? So whether you use paper or if you use cloth, if your wraps are of different size, the outside wrap must be the larger one. Start with the smaller one. Make sense? This inner wrap does not have to be secured with tape. Okay, I don't want you to secure this one with tape. You're going to take this and put flap side down, same process, but you're going to do it again. Now you're going to wrap this whole package. Okay, I don't want to put flap up like that because as I'm opening it, see how this can come undone. So I'm going to take my flap down, I'm going to put it in the center, come just a little bit below center, and then I'm going to start closest to me. Fan fold back. Until I can make it all fit nice and nice. Start with the side. Come straight up. And you always have to have a flap because that's going to be important when we open these instruments later. At least one. This time I need a second. Then the other side. So exact same procedure as I did the first time. And so now it's double wrapped. Now I'm going to use my autoclave tape to secure it. So I'm going to tear a little piece of autoclave tape off. Doesn't have to be much, just enough to secure it and enough for me to write on it because I have to label this as well. And I don't want to put my autoclave tape on this way. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. I want to do it this way because that's going to keep it closed. So same thing when you guys did bandages. You didn't want to put that tape up and down. You wanted to do it long way so it catches more. It's more on here and more on this side. Okay, you don't want to do it up and down. So now I need to label it. Again, it must be a permanent black marker. And what are the 3 things I'm going to put on here?
What are you wrapping?
Good. The date, my initials, and what's inside. And this was a mosquito. Forceps. Now, like scissors, scissors is always plural, right? You never say scissor. Go get me the scissor. It's always scissors because it's got 2 blades. Same with a forceps, okay? Forceps is always plural, so it should never end in the P, it should always end in an S. Does that make sense? Because again, spelling is going to count. So I have today's date, my initials, and mosquito forceps on here. Now it would be ready to take over to the autoclave to be autoclaved. But I'm going to set it aside for right now and show you another technique, or wrap another item. I'm going to wrap a bowl. I like to use a bowl a lot on the checkoffs, and students get, oh, I need you to stop.